Hello and welcome to a new episode of Where No Pod Has Gone Before. We're a science fiction podcast. My name is Julian.
And my name is Titan.
And we are returning to Mars this week for a catch-up in Season 5 of For All Mankind. We're going to be talking about episodes 6, 7, and 8. And before we do, I think we should do a little recap of where we were at with the season. Not necessarily story-wise, but just how we were feeling, some concerns, some questions, things we were excited about. So I think it's fair to say we're mostly enjoying the season.
Yeah, I would say so.
For the most part. We're definitely keen to get to Titan with the mission.
Yeah.
We want some old school For All Mankind.
Exactly. I mean, for a moment, I was wondering. I was like, I hope they're going to do it this season.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, they better get there. Not like the final shot of the season is them on Titan. Like, they need to get there during the season.
Yeah. So maybe we shouldn't say excited for it, but actually asking for it. Like, okay, we need.
Yeah, exactly. Like waiting. Like, come on. Yeah.
We settled on the idea of family and, who are you in relation to the people who came before you, and their legacy, right? That was a kind of thematic question that's been driving the whole season. We see it with Kelly and Alex, Avery as she relates to Danny Stevens, Lily with Miles, Dev and his father, right? Everyone has a kind of family figure looming over their identity, right? So we had a couple of concerns. I think, firstly, we were wondering how Miles is going to he kind of felt like he wasn't really doing much in the story up until
he was sort of just
5.
hanging around, being the figurehead, right?
Yeah. And at the end of episode 5, he does look like he beats someone to death, right? That's what I got from it.
I thought so. Yeah, it sort of seemed fairly intense. Not just like knocked him unconscious. It looked like he kept going, right?
I mean, there was blood splattering on his own face. So
yeah, exactly.
So it seemed like he would take a bit of a step forward as one of the primary characters this season. We'll see about that. I don't know if we talked about being concerned about like the kids taking over, but we were just kind of wondering if this was like a next generation. They're leading the show, taking the front seat on the narrative. Yeah. So that was something to keep an eye on. And I think my biggest concern was you had two characters. One we called Lady Macbeth, the wife of the governor, who seemed to be quite a domineering, manipulative figure over him. Right. I mean, she was like literally in the blocking, like he would be sat down and she would like have his hand on his shoulder, like guiding him into certain thoughts and everything. Very Lady Macbeth. And she just left Mars and we were like, okay, what that setup is for what? That was a question we had. And Avery, right? This is Danny Stevens' daughter, who was in, I think up until then, 2 episodes, right? So just introduced as a kind of loose cannon Marine.
Yeah, and later as well, right?
Yeah, it was episode
like the
4 was
episode
her first,
or something. Yeah.
So, we had questions about like, okay, why are you doing this now? How is this going to relate to everything later on? I do have a theory about this, but we'll talk about her in the episodes themselves. But it was a bit jarring, her introduction and kind of backseat thereafter, right?
Yeah, it was sort of completely separate. It's like we didn't see immediately how it was going to fit into everything, because it was also, she was talking about going to the moon and everything, and I'm like, we don't even know what's happening on the moon. Like, it's completely unrelated. It's exactly the moon, Earth. Well, who cares about that? That was seasons 1 and 2, right? Yeah. So it was a bit strange. Yeah.
I think that's everything that I could pick up on for a little bit of a recap. So I think we can get into it now, straight away with episode 6, titled "No Sudden Moves," which you see an episode title, you try to relate it to, you try to think about what's to come, right? That's a little a little game I like to play sometimes, and it's clearly like this is a hostage thing.
Yeah,
right? It's it's obvious there.
Yeah, because how did the previous one ended with them knowing that they were coming into the Moxie
rioters was storming the Moxie, the command center,
that's right.
and where the governor was, right. And that's where we pick up. So we have this feverish, pitched dynamic. The rioters have come in, they're taking everyone hostage, right, and they're led by this guy Jer, I suppose Jerry or something.
Jer,
this is just what Miles calls him the whole episode, Jer. And he is in charge, but he doesn't know what to do. And the question is asked, what's the plan? All right, you've done all the work. Yeah. What are you going to do now? You got the hostages. You have your demands. How are you going to get this over the line? That's the question.
Yeah, he was sort of like the revolutionary, the emotional one, and then sort of he didn't know what to do after that. He had a whole lot of people at gunpoint, and then he's like, "Oh, yeah, we can't just be like this forever."
Yeah. As we are now doing for our shows that we're watching, we're going to stick with a situation. Groups of characters, one character, we'll go through them, and then we'll go to the next one instead of going through scene by scene. So we're going to stick with the hostage situation for now, where Boyd kind of tricks some peacekeepers into letting her take Miles, and then we realize that she's on his side, and they go to Moxie, right, because she's shocked and appalled by what she's seen.
Yeah.
About the automation and the rioting and everything. Right. And they make it to Moxie, and basically they realize the situation now is, what if the M6 calls your bluff? Because you're not going to kill anyone.
Yeah.
I believe it's Morozova, the KGB lady who asks this. Am I right in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got no idea what her name is, but she freaks me out. I mean, because it was, I think it was during this episode. It must have been during this episode as well, where, eventually the governor gets duct taped and handcuffed and everything, and she's just sitting there pretty. And I'm like, no, she's the threat. You need to put a blindfold on her and everything. Don't let her go free. She's the threat. You need to put maximum security there.
Yeah. But she's learned her lessons from the Gulag, of course, right?
Yeah,
so, I mean, she knows exactly how to play a situation like this.
Yeah.
So with the question, what's the plan? What if the M6 calls you bluff? So we need a plan of action in this hostage situation, right? And one thing we need is more weapons, or we need to take away weapons from the sheriff who's going around accessing all these secret locker depots. So Boyd is off to go find some weapons, and she finds some other peacekeeper sympathizers to join the cause and give some muscle to the rioters. The Marzies.
And they sort of seemed like they were sort of young recruits. And they were like, whoa, this is not what we signed up for. They were like in hiding. They were like, no. We were just like going to stroll along the promenade, make sure everyone's not doing illegal stuff. And now suddenly we shooting at crowds and stuff.
Yeah. And back in in Moxie, this is when Alita makes it in. Because she needs to talk to the mission. And she's like, okay, well, you have fusion reactors here and no one's supervising them. You have climate control, life support systems that need to be monitored and supervised and operated. And no one is. So Miles is just like, okay, come on, everyone untie everyone who works here.
Miles is sort of like, okay, come guys, let's just all be friends and relax. You can do your revolution, but we still need to breathe, right?
But I actually want to bring up a really nice moment of filmmaking that I noticed.
Okay.
One might even call it the best filmmaking moment, if you would.
Fantastic.
I picked this up because, you might think of good filmmaking as like whipping a camera around and making all these beautiful shots and everything, but it's not entirely what it is. It's just it's doing what you need to do in the moment for the emotion and the themes, right? And it's when Alita is talking to Miles and Jer, right? I don't know what it's short for. I hate saying Jer.
I also hate it. Yeah.
It's over her shoulder, and she's talking to both of them. And Jer's like, "No, we're not going to deal with you, whatever." And Miles just puts his hand on his shoulder, and then the camera kind of moves a little, and Jer kind of steps out of frame, and it's just Miles now. Right, so it's just a moment of positioning of your actors to tell a little thing.
Right,
Miles is really in charge, and he's in control of the situation. Right. This is a nice little bit of communication just through an actor stepping to his left.
Yeah, right? And not telling you anything, showing it to you. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah,
and you watching it, and you might not have picked up on it, but you would have felt it in the course of everything else put together. You would have been like, okay, Miles is the guy who's in charge now. You would have understood that intrinsically.
And I probably didn't notice it at the exact moment, but there was a point where suddenly Jer decided to sort of step back and like, okay, I'll allow Miles to sort of take the reins, right? So that was probably sort of around the moment. Okay, very nice.
I also want to point out, it's really funny to me. I know you like the news interludes.
Yes, yeah.
It was one halfway through the episode where the president was with primary school children, and he was told of the hostage situation.
Oh, and really?
But it was exactly copying
like George Bush
with 9/11.
Yeah.
The aide whispering in his ear, and
I didn't make the connection, but that's magnificent. No, because that's what, whenever the news segments come on, I feel like I'm living in the world, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh Jesus, what have they done now? Oh, this is just getting out of hand, and like the world's falling apart, and so that's wicked. I need to go and look at that again, because I
like that
awesome.
The one news station is NNC and the other is Eagle News.
Oh, beautiful! I wonder what those are.
Yeah. So the stations are restaffed, and Miles is running the show now, right? He has the respect. He has the kind of political cachet with everyone around him to lead, right? From the events of 2003, what from the last season, and Boyd returns, but doesn't bring the weapons because she doesn't trust anyone there, not to go crazy with them. And Miles then realizes that it's not the governor or the people who are the hostages. The real hostage is the asteroid and the iridium that Earth heavily relies on. And I love the moment that he realizes this, and it cuts to Morozova, and she just nods. She's like, respect. She's like, and it's not a moment of like, oh, you're so clever. It's like, it's like she knew it all along, and she was waiting for him to get there.
She's like, I wanted to see if you would work this out on your own. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. No, you've got to watch her, hey, because she's like that dark horse.
At which point they have the governor read the ransom to Earth. Cease all automation plans. Don't deport anyone from Mars.
Which I thought was hilarious, right? Because throughout the whole episode, he was like talking to me, and they're like, okay, shut him up, put a duct tape on. And then it like suddenly cuts to him like being forced to read the stuff. And I'm like, shame, man.
And thereafter, the stinger of the entire episode is that the M6 nations, which is announced by President Bragg, has completely denied the request. We do not negotiate with terrorists. We will not. The typical response that you get, which sets up all the stakes for what we see in the following episodes for sure.
And because I don't know about you, but when I saw that news sort of segment with the president saying we do not negotiate with terrorists, I suddenly realized, that's what Avery's doing. she's not going to go to the moon. She's suddenly going to be rerouted to Mars. They're going to come and invade. Like, I knew immediately when there was that president saying, we're not doing this. I'm like, oh, they're going to send an invasion force. Like, I knew immediately then, finally, what that connection was going to be.
Yeah, for sure. So I had throughout this, every time seeing the governor, I was thinking, where is Lady Macbeth?
Right. Yeah, me too.
Because it felt like she was so prominent and then she disappeared. So I was wondering that
he was still going to be like controlled from Earth somehow.
Yeah.
You know, she was still somehow. I mean, I'm still waiting, like maybe because we still don't actually know how KGB woman, what's her name?
Morozova. Yeah.
How she's getting her information. I still think it might be Lady Macbeth somehow sending her stuff, because she said something great at some stage. She's like, I don't know where it is, but she was like, you made a mistake giving salt and pepper shakers to prisoners, and with no explanation. She's like, it's like, how did you find out this information? Oh, you gave salt and pepper shakers to the prisoners. Mistake, and I'm like, what? But yeah, I feel like somehow I'm hoping sort of like at some stage it gets revealed that Lady Macbeth is maybe being the source of her information somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having this like monologue with in my head. It's like a little back and forth of, have we tricked ourselves by calling her Lady Macbeth into thinking that she should be more prominent than she really is? But then I'm like, maybe, no. Yeah. But why did they do that when she was introduced? Yeah. Why make her seem that way?
Yeah,
like she's controlling and everything. It was very strange.
No, I mean, that's why, like, I love you comparing her to Lady Macbeth, because I mean, that's exactly, as soon as you said that, I was like, yes, that's who she is, right? Like, yes, exactly, that's what she's doing. So yeah, I don't think so. I think we're definitely going to see her again. She's definitely going to somehow play a role.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, this is what I'm thinking as I'm watching episode 6, right? These are my thoughts, and
yes,
it's not to say that that's where we are after 8 episodes. It's just what I was thinking at the time, because she does have a little moment in the next one.
Yeah,
And one more thing that I thought during the kind of hostage storyline, when they're arguing about the morality and you have all these different players and different motivations and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is pretty good and stuff, and then it kind of fell apart, because then I realized, like, oh wait, Andor did this, but just like a million times better, with the moral gray areas and the factionalism within the rebellion. And I was like, oh man. And I just started thinking, oh, Andor was so good the whole time, instead of paying attention.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
But yeah, so we can leave the hostage situation behind, and I think we should talk a little bit quickly about Alex and Lily. So at first, Alex is healed up and he's discharged, but he won't leave because Lily is unconscious. He won't leave until she's okay. It's like, damn, they need hospital beds. It was just a full-scale riot,
Get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah. And then next time she wakes up, but he's asleep. And then she's catching up with the mom. Is like, oh, I'm so worried and everything. He's like, oh, by the way, he likes you,
Yeah.
And it's a typical, like, he likes me. We're just friends,
I've known him forever. Yeah. He just cares a lot about me. Can't possibly like me. I mean, watching all of this, I was hoping you were enjoying it a little bit more than Tarima and Caleb.
No,
in Starfleet.
It was better because like I'm invested in the other things that these characters have going on. Right. Like I do care about Alex Baldwin,
yes.
As in the larger picture of the show.
Because I was watching it and at times I was like, yeah, this is a little bit cliche. I wonder if Julian's like, oh, not again.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that bad.
It was a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking, like, and I know it's TV and you have attractive people in your cast, but like they're in hospital, they've been unconscious, knocked out and everything.
Yeah.
They look pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like I look like this. I look like this after a good night's sleep. This is me, good night's sleep, right? They look better. than this. So
yeah. I mean, she just woke up from a coma or something, right?
Exactly.
As well, and she like
exactly.
had her hair nice and everything.
Yeah, give them some eye bags or something. I know it's a TV thing, and it's fine. It's part of like the contract, right? That you sign with watching TV. But it was in my mind. It was in my mind.
Yeah. No. Sure. Yeah.
And the next scene, Alex wakes up, and thank God they're both awake at the same time now. And they catch up a little, they joke around or whatever, and then they kiss. Right, so they're now boyfriend and girlfriend going forward.
But I did enjoy the doctor walking past as they kissed, and he was just like, "Yeah, finally!" Right? Because he was like, "Oh, come on, guys! Like, geez."
Yeah, but it's like it's like a small village. Everyone knows everyone on the Mars space, so he must have picked up on things over the years, as well. I mean, a slight storyline for them, a slim one for them this episode for characters about whom we were speculating they could be the next leads going forward. They're kind of taking a step back here.
They did. Yeah,
that's fine. But we can talk a little bit now about Dev and Alida, who are holed up in the Helios offices. And they need to find a way to Moxie to talk to the Sojourner mission, right? And there's a nice bit of kind of badassery, with the assistant who's like, I can get you there in an hour. It's like, you have 10 minutes. It's typical stuff. It's nice. It's good. It gives a sense of the urgency. And on their way, they're interrupted by a peacekeeper who was trying to get them back into curfew, and it's like, well,
yes,
these are essential personnel, and I'm allowed to transport them, whatever. And she says, as they pass, well, your funeral, then, And then after which, Dev and Alida split up because Dev wants to go to the med bay because he has to check on Alex. Right, feels he owes something to him.
Right,
yeah. So we know Alida makes it to Moxie. We've spoken about what happens after she gets there. But Dev, on his way to Medbay, is attacked and beaten up by a bunch of guys. And you know what? He kind of deserves it. He kind of
does, right? I mean, especially wandering around the base now, where they've just had a riot where people have been killed because of him. Like,
emotions are running high.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I don't need the guards, you do. And I'm like, no, actually, it's you, Dev. You need the guards.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you instigated this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So he's beaten up. It looks particularly brutal. And he makes it back to Helios, and everyone's like, damn. And then he turns to camera and says, lock the doors. Right? A big dramatic moment for him. And we have a quick little look in with Sojourner. And all that happens there is that they're told that there's a situation, and they found out from Cosmos, which is the Kurgan ship that launched earlier. Yes. They're told what's actually happening, which I think, knowing what happens in episode 7, is just a way to show that they're in contact, right, with Cosmos along the way.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. That's really all that happens there. This episode.
Yeah, just to sort of
they're
also
just getting
remind
information.
Us,
yeah,
exactly. It's like remind us that there is this thing still going to Titan, and obviously they can't just make it get there immediately, right? Because Titan is far away. So it's like
yeah. They do mention in this episode 18 months.
Oof, that's quite quick.
That was thrown out in this episode.
From Mars. Yeah. Just thinking, it seems a little bit quick, but I mean, it's probably not that quick. But
but then I'm thinking, because there is a time jump for the next episode, and that definitely wasn't 18 months, right?
It wasn't 18 months. Yeah, no, actually, I think it was 6 months or 5 months. It said like
6
months later or something.
Yeah, 6 months sounds right. So yeah, maybe we should
Anyway,
go double check on that. But yeah, and Avery is in this episode. We actually get her back, so she's been in 3 out of the 6 episodes, right? At this point, I'm just counting along because I find it interesting.
Yes, right.
How sparsely spread out, how sparse the scenes.
Yeah, and she's still up until now, so like sort of only sort of like cuts to her for a little bit, and then she's got fairly brief scenes, right?
Yeah. So she's with these Marines, Navy, I guess. They're doing a training exercise in spacesuits. It goes pretty well, and then
which I love, by the way. I love seeing the spacesuits with actual guns, right? Because like we sort of used to seeing spacesuits with like blasters or laser weapons or something. But like I just love that about this show in general, where it's spacesuits with guns, because it's like, yeah, we're not in some distant sci-fi future. We're still in like real time. We don't have laser guns yet, but they're in space, right? So like, it's just normal guns.
Couldn't you argue that in a vacuum, a projectile weapon like a bullet is actually better than a laser?
I mean, I probably, right, because I mean, especially
it's not going to it's going to be way more accurate. It's not going to lose velocity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, also especially since I think it was season 2 or 3 or something where they shot the cosmonaut or whatever, and just the bullet going into his spacesuit, like set him on fire or whatever. Like it's a devastating weapon, right? Like it's absolutely devastating. So yeah, it's something that you haven't really thought about before. You're like, oh, in space we need laser weapons, right? Whereas here it's like you don't need laser weapons. You can just use normal guns. So I enjoy that.
It's like the weapons you already have are actually better in space.
Exactly. Yeah, like just as you are stronger in space, your weapons are as well. Yeah.
But on the other hand, laser weapons are really cool. So
exactly.
You got to balance.
I don't want guns in Star Trek. Like keep my phasers and keep my blasters in Star Wars. But like it's fun to have one show where they are in spacesuits with real weapons.
Yeah, I mean, in the Star Trek world, it makes sense because they can adjust the brutality of they can set it to stun basically to have that option, right? That I think that's the entire point in Star Trek, which is really cool. And in Avery's training group, we have the guy from the school on Mars with Alex and Lily, right? So remember there was a guy who was going to go to the Marines.
Yes, and I hadn't picked up on this, actually. I didn't recognize him. I'd forgotten that had all happened.
Yeah, because it's when they call him Marzi here in this scene that we're like, oh.
It's him,
Yeah. And I have to say, I hate Marzi as a word.
Yeah, no, it sounds shocking. Yeah. I mean, didn't you say like there's a radio word, right? Martian.
Yes, I mean, I know that the timeline of history split in 1968 in this show, or 1969 in the show, whatever. But Martian was already in the dictionary before that. There's no excuse. These are Martians.
Yeah.
I hate it. I have a physical reaction every time I hear it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Because I always sort of, I even think sometimes they say it like Marcy, right? And like in the subtitles, I read it as Marcy, right? Like with an S. I'm like, Marcy, what the hell? Who's Marcy? Oh, Marcy, right? Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. It's sometimes shows. I think most famously, the other Ronald D. Moore, he's the main writer on this show. His other show, Battlestar Galactica, has its own F word, right? So then you can bypass censorship, right?
Okay.
So they say frack instead of,
okay.
And I think they're trying to do a similar thing here, but like it's just not working.
No.
You know what I mean? To put its own individual stamp on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I also don't think it's working, yeah.
But Avery confesses to Marcy at the bar about her past, and he's like, "Well, your dad may have been an asshole, but your grandparents were heroes, right? So you might get one or the other, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I'd forgotten that both of the Stevens kids were like terrorists and stuff, right? And killed people. I'd forgotten that the second one was also a bomber and just killed a whole lot of people. I was like, oh yeah, geez, shame, man. Sorry. I get why you're using a different name.
Yeah, and if we're talking about family legacy and stuff with the season, like we have examples there of people who fully couldn't cope with their parents' standard that they set. Right?
Yes,
and I think that's a big part of why they failed as people, right?
Yeah.
Remains to be seen what's going to happen with Avery there. And one other thing to note in this episode that happens is that Lee, the Korean eugenaut, is
very nice.
Yeah, nice pull from me there. Is back on base, reunited with his wife. He's left the Ison.
I was so happy to see him back. I thought he was a hallucination or something. I was like, oh no, he's actually there. Cool. I love
him. So any comments from episode 6? Anything you want to pick up on?
So I mean, with these three, I mean, this is still the best one, but these 3 episodes do not deserve best science moments from me. They were absolutely terrible. In the next 2 are absolutely terrible.
I actually have questions that I'm going to ask you for the next one.
Yes, yeah. So the next 2 do not deserve a best science moment. They definitely have worst science moments. The only sort of bad science or questionable science that I had here is that, Alida was so intent on getting back to Moxie so that she could communicate with Titan. And I was thinking like, okay, but is Earth not in communication at all? Because actually, when I started thinking about it, I mean, how you normally communicate with distant spacecrafts is that NASA's got a thing that they just used again with the Artemis 2 mission, is called the Deep Space Network. I think they used to actually use the Hartrau radio telescope in South Africa back in the 60s. Nice. But these days, I don't think they use it anymore. There's one in Australia, one in Mexico, and I don't know where. I think there's one in Spain. I think it's Australia, Spain, and Mexico. They're these like absolutely massive radio dishes, and that's what you need to communicate with distant spacecraft. And you need them across the entire planet so that you always have coverage, right? So if you're going to be communicating with a spacecraft from Mars, you need this. You need at least 3 massive radio antenna across the planet. I don't think Mars has that. So
it's not. It's not totally implausible though. In the time jump between seasons, that they've just put those in. They've just installed them.
They might have. They might have, exactly. I mean,
because I think that control center on Mars is pretty robust. It looks. I mean, it was. They handled the launch, of course. They handle, all space traffic. Orbiting Mars. So,
I mean, that's why. Yeah, it is plausible. That's why I said it's not a bad science moment. It's questionable,
right?
Because. Okay. I mean, at this stage, we seem that there is. It sort of seems like most of the population is here at Happy Valley, and then we know about this Ison base. Yeah, but they don't really. I don't think there aren't like settlements all across the planet yet, right? So I mean, you would need a radio telescope on the other side of the planet, presumably manned by people, could possibly be unmanned, but you would have to have gone and built it somehow,
right?
I mean, at least as far as I know, because. So I would think that Mars is actually communicating with a satellite in orbit and then sending that signal back to Earth, and then Earth is communicating with Titan. So if Mars is cut out of the loop, I don't think they would. I'm not 100% sure that it was that necessary for Alida to get back to communicate with Titan, because surely Earth is communicating with them as well, even if it's a Mars mission.
Yeah, but also in the last episode, we established that there was also a communication delay. So maybe Mars being closer,
right,
helps with that.
That's not a bad point. Yes, no, that's not a bad point. I mean, it would only be, what is it? I think it's roughly a half an hour delay back and forth from Earth to Mars. So it would roughly be 15 minutes that you're gaining. For a spaceship
Right.
further than Mars, right?
Well, 15 minutes is pretty valuable then,
I
would
suppose
say.
it is pretty valuable, but I mean, from Mars to Titan would still be a couple hours delay, I would reckon.
Right.
So it's a couple hours and then 15 minutes less than it would be to Earth. Yeah, but yeah, as you say, it's not completely unbelievable that they have built this infrastructure. They could also have it in orbit.
Yeah. You're just saying that you require an answer.
Exactly. They haven't given me one.
You
And
need one.
I was just like, because they did then also mention at some stage that they are in communication with Houston. The Titan mission is actually in communication with Houston as well. It was like one line. It's like, oh, we've heard from Houston, but not from Mars.
Yeah.
Like what happened with the riots and whatever. So they are sort of in communication with Earth, which is why I was just like, I don't think it's that necessary for Leda to get back to Moxie. But anyway, you also need a reason for her to get back there, right?
Yeah.
For the story. So
yeah.
It's a little bit questionable. The next two episodes are far worse with that, so we'll get to them.
I was wondering. But yeah, we should talk now about episode 7 titled The Sirens of Titan, which, yeah, I was hoping that this was going to be it, based on the title, right?
Yes.
I need this one to be it.
And I was like, surely.
Yeah. So what I think we should do, because there are two major things happening here, let's talk about Mars first, and then we can talk about Sojourner, and then we can also transition into your science stuff, because I assume it's
right
on the Sojourner side of things.
It's all with Titan and Sojourner. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So we can start with Alex and Lily, who are working the domes, and
yes,
led by Lee, right? He's like running the whole operation. And
yeah, which I mean, those biodomes, I mean, I think we've kind of seen inside them before, but maybe not in this much detail. I mean, I thought they were awesome, right? Just
we spoke about it. You were a big fan. You actually, I think you named it as a best science moment, probably, or
with the planted in the soil or something. You're right.
Yeah, we enjoyed that in episode 1.
Yeah, I just love looking at the domes.
Yeah,
they look really cool.
And I also quite like. It's not said, but there is a sense here of like, okay, everyone has to chip in now. You know, things are tough.
Yes,
resources are tight. Everyone has to kind of play their part, right? And I think that's what
you've got jobs to do, and you can't just sit around saying you're a revolutionary. This is the tough work.
This is the work of the revolutionary, right?
Yes,
and I have to point out, so I spoke about a filmmaking moment in the last one. This is not necessarily a filmmaking moment, just a kind of maybe film history thing.
Okay.
So their Russian friend from school was obviously going to go to Cairo to study film, right? That was her thing.
Okay,
when she
graduated. Yes.
But obviously she didn't make it off planet, so she's stuck there. And she just kind of enters the scene, right? Alex and Lily are like lovey-dovey, cuddling.
Right, yes.
And she kind of enters the scene and she's just like, oh yeah, it's impressionist like Antonioni, or like Antonioni is impressionist. And that's wrong.
Oh, okay.
She's talking about the Italian director Michelangelo Antonioni, one of the greatest directors of all time.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any passing curiosity in like art cinema, I can't recommend his film La Ventura enough.
Okay.
So check that out if you're interested. But he's a modernist, right? And I went and double checked. So he's not an impressionist by the art history, BA definition of impressionism.
Right.
And he's a modernist. It's more experimental and abstraction.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably fairly distinct, right?
Yeah, and impressionism is more about kind of natural settings and natural lighting and capturing of fleeting moments, I guess. And
right, yes.
So what I think she's trying to say is that you watch an Antonioni film and you have impressions of things as you're watching it, right? but he's not
yes.
an impressionist by the
no,
classical...
that's not impressionism. You're
no,
right.
it's not an impressionist by the classical definition. And
Right.
I know. I heard his name. It perked my ears. Like, if someone mentioned Newton or something, you would immediately walk in and make sure that it's right. And this was most definitely wrong. Right.
No, I love that. You getting your best and worst cinema or movie making moments. Yeah, I'm loving this.
But then again, she hasn't actually gone to university, so that's probably why she got it wrong, right?
Yeah. That's why she wants to go. Yeah, she's heard of these people, but she doesn't know.
Exactly. She's heard of him. She hasn't actually, she's posing. She hasn't actually watched one of his films. Yeah.
He clearly made an impression on her, right? So she's like, he must be an impressionist.
There you go. Very good. But yeah, back to Alex and Lily. She's teased that she has a birthday present for him, right? I could see a little hint in your face.
Yeah.
So later at night, obviously past midnight, it is his birthday, and he's woken up by Lily. He's like, "Well, you have to come to the dome to get your present." So he goes. He does his push-ups. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was so funny. The push-ups. Yeah. I love this.
Just so poking his pecs. They're not hard enough. And he goes to the dome, and the access code is his birthday. She's left a hint, and I have to point out, the access panel not displaying asterisks but displaying the actual numbers of the code is very bad. Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's shocking.
That's really absolutely
bad. Very bad. On a Mars station, you can't afford to be that sloppy. Yeah.
Exactly. He goes inside. There's a nice picnic set out. It's pretty cute. I can imagine some stargazing picnic with your beloved on your birthday would be pretty romantic, right?
Yeah, I thought that was a great birthday present.
We could stop there then.
Because, I mean, the next part, I was like, no, that's shit. I wouldn't want that for my birthday. Like,
I would be furious. I would be so embarrassed.
I'd be like, this is horrible.
They got a dorky flash mob to a terrible song.
Yeah. And it's like they've also just like started dating, right? I mean, they haven't. Yeah. It sort of was implied that this was like going to be their first time.
Well, no, this is 6 months later. We did say 6 months later. In fairness, I think it's fair that at this stage.
But I think it was still supposed to be their first time, like sleeping together, because that's sort of what the implications were, right?
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking throughout the whole episode. She kept saying you're going to get your birthday present, so I was like, okay,
exactly.
He's going to get some action, like that's.
Yeah. I mean, they are supposed to be 18 or something, right? So it's obviously sort of like, first time and like, ooh, and then suddenly flash mob. And I would have been like, nope, this clearly isn't working out, babe. So,
and maybe even speaking about it from the other side, right? So maybe think about this in a kind of riderly sense. So Dev has commissioned the sheriff to commit an attack on the domes to destroy the resources of the rebels so that they give in to the M6 nations, right?
Yeah.
But it was meant to be late at night, and then no one was there, no one's hurt, right? But the people are harmed, and our Russian film student dies because they were there doing a birthday flash mob.
Yeah.
Right? Like that doesn't feel... that feels like stretching. Like they really needed to get all these people in the dome.
In the dome, yeah, exactly. Like, how do we do this? Yeah.
I really don't like it. I just don't like it.
I'm glad you didn't as well, because I was like, oh yeah, no, that's cute, the little picnic, everything. And then when the flash mob came on, I was like, okay, this is. I don't know if this is bad because I wouldn't enjoy it, or I think it's bad. Filmmaking, like I think it's just bad in every respect, right? Like everything.
It's about a bad presence. The song choice sucks. The dance sucks. I mean, if they're like pulling fertilizer duty every night to rehearse this, right?
Yeah.
But also, it sucks that this is the reason that they're all there for the attack, right?
Yeah.
It's just a terrible reason, and it feels so forced.
Like, you could have just said something like, "Oh no, we've got people working around the clock now," or something, right? Because it's times are tough, and
yeah, but
not
then
that necessarily makes sense, but
yeah, but you need to absolve Dev, right? Because he needs to think that he's doing this.
yeah,
You see what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. But I mean, come on, you could have come up with something better than that, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
even just a party, right? Just like, "Oh, I've got a party for you in the fields here," not a flash mob. I don't know. The
yeah,
flash mob thing was weird.
yeah, just surprise party. That's already better. I'm just thinking now, like, if you want to talk about like Andor's sense of morality, like, why not
Yeah,
actually have Dev be okay with murder? Right, that would be
actually,
very thorny,
yes, actually.
very interesting. Let's
Like,
push
especially
it.
after him being beaten up like that, suddenly
Yes,
he, like, something
exactly.
clicks, something snaps inside him, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Right, now I'm just going to do this
yeah,
now."
they've been doing these raids, on supplies
Yeah,
and
that would have been much
medical
better. I
supplies.
mean, yeah,
Yeah, if he just like loses it and snaps, like, let's just go for it. That would be.
yeah,
I don't know what they have in store for Dev for the rest of the season, but that would be a lot
that
more
would have been very
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
To sort of finally establish him, because they're going back and forth on whether he's a good guy or a bad guy.
They can't
right?
go all the way with it, right? Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. They've got to commit at some stage. They've got to sort of finish his character development, I suppose.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I would have that would have been hectic. I would have been like, "Whoa,
yeah. And then
bold
you have
move,
to,
bold choice."
you have to kind of sit with that every time you're with that
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Anyway,
very sloppy stuff going on there.
yeah,
Yeah. So let's talk about the rest of Mars and how this attack has affected them. We can start with Miles, who is now leading this kind of coalition of people, which I think they call at some point in the next episode. I have it written down. The Happy Valley Core, I think, is the thing. At least
okay,
the kind of trained people. But yeah, so
right,
the ISN, from international pressure, these are the independent spacefaring nations. They're withdrawing aid to the rebels because it's too much political risk for them, basically.
right, yeah,
So now we're rationing. The rationing is led by Lee, and they have 6 months, I believe it was, that they said left with
something
existing
like that.
stores.
Yeah. That was before the biodomes were blown
exactly.
up. Yeah.
But people want to leave. There's a petition now to leave. Even a leader has signed it, right? And at the next, Miles sits with this, and he goes to Moxie, and he asks a leader for a transport, and she just like flips out on him. It's right. You don't understand how difficult it is to basically run the skies, air traffic control. Now you just want a ship.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and she kind of was like, okay, well, I can get you one, but only if I can get this one out of maintenance or whatever, right? So the wheel is in motion to get people off Mars who aren't committed to the cause. But then we have the attack on the domes. They've lost all their resources, and the rations are only going to last 2 weeks now. So there's your story urgency kicking into gear there.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's one woman there, and she's kind of like saying, maybe this is it. We've gone this far. We've made our point. We can't push this any further. And then Miles just drops the no fucking way. And I love it. I love that Miles is taking control. He's wrestled the reins from everyone else. He's in control of everything.
Because it hasn't happened exactly the way I was expecting, but I was expecting some sort of reckoning where he, because he didn't actually do everything in 2003 that people think he did. right? Like, and
exactly.
I thought people were going to find this out at some stage, but I think it's more of an internal struggle. Like, he feels like he's an imposter somehow, right? Like he is not the person that people believe him to be, but now he's becoming that person. He's stepping up, and he's like, no, you know, we need to commit to this. If we're going to be like this, we need to do it properly. And he's sort of like making up for the fact that he didn't actually. He's becoming the person that everyone thought he was already.
Yes, exactly. I didn't pick up on that. Yeah, I think you nailed that. It's an internal, striving to become that. Yeah, very good. And yeah, for our concern about like what Miles was going to be this season, I'm very happy to see this Miles come forward. Right, see him so
exactly, because I mean, I sort of thought
he
was. I sort of thought he was done, but there
was a little bit of that.
Yeah.
We would have been in like episode 3 or something. Like, where is Miles?
What's he doing?
He's just talking to the sheriff.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, remember when Ed Baldwin died? I think now his name is first, right?
He's number one on the call sheet.
And we were, I think we mentioned that we were like, what? Why is he first, right?
It was just more like it felt strange that he was the first one.
Exactly,
but it was more like
the first one. Yeah.
It was more like the vacuum left behind when Ed died. It's right, like, whose show is this now?
Yes,
I think we're still wondering that. I felt like it was gonna be the kids. But now it feels like Miles in a way. I enjoyed the way they used him in this episode. I thought it was very good. We can talk about the governor now.
Yes,
who is going
having
on
a very difficult time.
He's a prisoner, but he's going on his daily laps around the little tree in the atrium. Yes. And he's catching up with Morozova, who's feeding him information, and she says that due to political pressure on the Soviet president, your wife is going to denounce you publicly as a loser, basically. This guy's a loser. He couldn't do everything wrong. He is the reason why we might lose Mars.
Right.
And the reason for this is that if the Soviet people feel like the government doesn't control Mars, then they might not control them, and there might be an uprising. Right? It's all about image maintenance and control.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just thinking now. That's going to be. I feel like that's very Star City, the upcoming show.
I feel like
we're going to get a lot of that.
I reckon. Yeah, I reckon.
But the wife, the next time we see the governor, he's watching his wife's press conference on TV. And I have to say, just an incredible feat of mental dexterity that she displays.
No, sure.
Because she gives her speech, her speech that is written for her, no doubt. She is communicating to her husband in Morse code by blinking.
Yes.
All the while reading. Right.
Yes.
And doing it in such a way that it's not obvious, right? So she's looking
because
away.
I was thinking, I was like, surely the KGB is gonna pick up on this.
The ultimate spy masters, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And no less in English.
That's what I was I was thinking as
she's
well.
Incredible.
She's doing it in English.
She's incredible. She's like the smartest person alive. This is amazing that she could do this.
Yeah, that's why we were doubting just now whether or not she's going to be someone. I really hope she is. I mean, I want to see more from her.
Well, she's the smartest person in this universe by this display.
No, for sure.
Yeah. I enjoyed very much that the governor doesn't complete the message.
Yeah,
he just
like,
gets it.
All right.
Because how many times have you seen in movies where there's like Morse code or something and they write the whole thing out? And it's I would get from the first word.
Like, I know. Yeah, exactly. In fact, you could have stopped at IL even. It was like, I'm sure that's what it is, right? Yeah.
But, good that they stopped. I like that.
Yeah, I also enjoyed that. It sort of seemed realistic,
Yeah. Also, just the fact that she was there, I was very excited about. I actually did, write some exclamation marks in my notes.
Oh right, yeah.
The most intriguing character in the universe for the
exactly,
show.
Exactly. I mean, she better be someone. I mean, we keep talking about her, but
we're just convincing ourselves of this,
and we've got no idea what her name is, right?
Nope.
Yeah, Lady Macbeth.
Her name is
I mean,
Lady Macbeth.
It.
Yeah, that's
it. 100%.
So I think that's it for the governor. He does talk a bit more with Morozova, but it's kind of the Soviet intrigue, which
exactly
we understand enough about right now.
Yeah.
The last one I have in the notes is Dev, but we spoke about it, right? The sheriff is doing raids, exactly, they're not helping, so they do the attack, and then he's regretful of it.
Because he's obviously like, I thought I tried to do this in such a way that there was no loss of life.
And also he's asking after Alex, was he there? And Alex is fine. He has one single scratch on his cheek, so devastating attack for him. Alex gets a message from his mom Kelly. I'm sorry, I know you were close with this girl, and that transitions into the final Sojourner mission. So that wraps up the chats on Mars, but we can talk about Sojourner now, which opens the episode.
Yes, please.
With the catastrophic mission failure for Cosmos.
Yes.
So they're skipping off the atmosphere, right? And they're caught in Saturn's gravity well.
Yes, and that's the first moment that we need to pause.
Okay, so wait. But I want to ask my questions before.
All right, yes, please.
I know once you get started, it can...
Exactly, yes, please ask your questions.
So they mentioned that if they leave the atmosphere, it's the radiation that would kill them. They wouldn't survive that.
Yeah, right.
So my first question is, would the radiation kill them?
Right,
yes or no?
So short answer, no.
Okay, I suspected that.
Yeah, so
which
I
is
did
why
go and
I
do
asked
some
the question.
Exactly. I mean, I was also like, radiation kill you? What? But I mean, surely, if the radiation's that powerful, it's going to kill you on the way to Titan as well, right? Like, if you miss Titan, it's the same on the other side. If it's coming from Saturn, if you're that close, it's going to kill you, right? So my initial reaction was, that's complete nonsense. I did go and do some research and found out that we only learned in 2017, I think it was, when the Cassini-Huygens probe ended its mission the Cassini probe, by plummeting into Saturn's atmosphere in like its last thing. And that's where it sort of takes its final readings. And in that journey, it discovered that there are extremely intense radiation belts around Saturn. So I'm not sure if you've ever heard of the Van Allen belts, as they are often said.
I feel like that's been in some science fiction stuff, but I don't know what that is.
So, I mean, Van Allen is actually the correct pronunciation, of course.
There we go.
But Van Allen is how they always said. They're these strong radiation belts around Earth, but they were, before we went to the moon and stuff, people thought that passing through them was lethal. And we found out that, you just have to, if you go through them quickly and you put a bit of shielding on the spacecraft, they're fine, right? There's no problem with it. It's one of the things that moon landing deniers still bring up. They're like, oh, but you can't pass through the Van Allen belts. Well, actually you can. And same thing with Saturn. Yeah, if you stayed there for 6 months in those belts, yes, then you would die of radiation poisoning. But the sort of implication was that they were going to crash into Saturn, but that's not even the problem, because the radiation's going to kill them before that, right? Yeah. Which is no. So they are very strong radiation belts, but no, it's not. That's not why you're going to die. You're going to die because you're going to crash into Saturn. But I mean, far more important than that.
Wait. So can I ask my second question then?
Yes. Please do. Yeah.
So Cosmos skips off, right, and the comms channel is open, right, and they're like, okay, tell our families we love them. Like, we will do. Cosmos, are you there? Are you there? So would they die that quickly, or would the comms be lost that quickly? Is my second question. It's very quick.
Right. But I mean, so help me then, because how did they actually die? Did they crash into Saturn?
They must have. Well, this radiation thing is the other thing, right? So, like, in the show's world, did they? So they skipped off the atmosphere. They're falling to Saturn, right? We know that.
Wow.
Did they get fried up? Well, that's what the show says. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Did they get fried up by the radiation?
Right.
Or did they fall into Saturn? Or did they just lose comms in that moment? Right.
I think it was
very quick. That's what I'm concerned about.
It was very quick, exactly, because if it might have just been comms, because I would suspect that if Sojourner was in communication, that's all they're getting. They're not getting telemetry or anything from the Cosmos ship.
So because they're rivals. So
exactly. So they might just have comms, and then that's the one system that suddenly failed if it's radiation or something. Whereas, you would sort of expect if it's radiation or even like plummeting into an atmosphere, you sort of have things falling off one by one, right? So like you don't have comms, and then you don't have telemetry, and then maybe comms come back for a second, and then they go off again, and you sort of have like a gradual fallout of things, I think. So it must have been that they were only getting comms, and then suddenly they passed through the radiation or whatever, and it disappeared. Right. That must be what it is. Okay.
But the floor is yours now.
But
go,
because
fly.
that is all based on complete bullshit. Because I mean, because what they said, I mean, and this isn't even the worst part. It gets worse later. But I mean, they said they skipped off Titan's atmosphere, and then they were pulled into Saturn's gravity well. So presumably they're coming on a trajectory to Titan, and it would make sense, because I found something online as well arguing exactly the same thing that I've picked up on. It would make sense to reach Titan when it is, so if you imagine sort of Mars and Saturn in a line, if you draw a line between Mars and Saturn, Titan needs to be at right angles to that line, all right? Because then if you're coming from Mars to Saturn, Titan needs to be on the side so that you can sort of catch up to it in its orbit. If Titan is in between Mars and Saturn, there's much greater chance that you're going to miss it, because then it's going to fly past that line really quickly. Making sense?
Mostly.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but that's the only sort of mitigating factor. So Titan is also unusually far away from Saturn for a moon. Most of Saturn's moons are very close to Saturn. Titan is miles away. I mean, if you look at it in a telescope, you can just about get them within the same field of view on like my largest eyepiece. They're extremely far away. I think it's like 10 Saturn diameters away from Saturn. So they're extremely far away. Okay, here they sort of made it seem like you can miss Titan and hit Saturn. Absolutely not. They're flipping much further away than the moon and the Earth. All right. So if you miss the moon, you're not going to hit the Earth. They sort of made it seem like, we're going to go through Titan's atmosphere, and if we do it too fast, it's going to slow us down enough to curve our orbit all the way into Saturn, but not slow us down enough to actually land on the planet. So in reality, what you would have is you either don't slow down at all and you whiz right past Titan, or you slow down enough and you land on the planet. You get caught into Titan's gravity well, to use their terminology. Because just being in Titan, in Titan's vicinity, in Saturn's orbit, you're already well into Saturn's gravity well. I mean,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
that's the whole point of it's the sphere of influence, right? So I mean, I don't know what they were saying with that. In other words, that whole thing is complete nonsense. You're either going to slow down enough to enter Titan where you might burn up in Titan's atmosphere, or you're going to miss Titan completely. There is no way possible that I can think of that you use Titan to slow down, but it's not enough to land, but it is enough to completely alter your trajectory by 90 degrees and send you hurtling into Saturn. Just not
so
possible.
It's the 90 degrees thing. Like that's
yeah. And also, I mean, so far away, because it was like, oh, we've missed Titan. Oh, tell our families we love them. Oh, boom, gone. It would have been weeks until they got into, like days at least, until they got to Saturn. I mean, it's absolutely just too far away. and too big of a, they could easily mess up the aero braking thing, but then they would be in this sort of highly elliptical orbit around Saturn at the distance of Titan and not be able to get rescued. And that would actually be far worse. They would die slowly from hunger and boredom, right?
Yeah. Because they have as much fuel to slow down, right? And that's it. That's all the fuel they have, because they have to refuel, or because they have fusion engines. So they have to do have to do some stuff on the surface to get the engines ready again, right? So they only have as much to slow down. So I mean, in a way, if you're riding something, that kind of endless orbit of hell, and loneliness, is a worse ending, right?
Yeah,
don't you think?
Exactly. It's far more horrific. It's like, oh shit, no one can get to them now. They have no choice but to die. Like, in fact, now they have to choose to blow themselves up or something, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, that sort of, which is, this whole sort of thing is rare for this show, because I mean, the reason I've loved this show so much is because the science is normally fairly solid, and where it isn't, they've sort of pushed it in the correct direction. Whereas this was just complete bullshit. I felt like they didn't have anyone advising them on this.
Yeah, but they were always drawing from stuff that happened or was planned, right?
Yeah.
But, going that far out, I don't.
No.
I mean, it works in the sense that it sets the stakes for the episode.
Yes.
Like, this is, it's like, okay, there's a very, it's a very fine task that you have to achieve here for the mission to be successful, and then there are dire consequences if you don't. Right? That it's just the setup of that.
What it sets up is perfect, because I would say that is exactly what it is. Is like, yes, if you're going to be using Titan for aero braking, because Titan's atmosphere is extremely thick, and I mean,
you said it'd be like wading through it last time.
Almost, yeah, exactly. Especially, they haven't sent any robotic probes or anything. This would be the very first time they're actually sort of landing in Titan's atmosphere. They don't know how it's going to react. So, what it's sort of set up is absolutely good. It's sort of like, it is very difficult to land on Titan, and we might have underestimated it. But the way that they did it was just nonsense. Yeah. Wow. And then, I mean, the sort of next point that you've got here is their explanation for it was even worse. Okay. My God. I mean, I've even written down the direct quote, because I couldn't believe it. I mean, they said the atmospheric density at altitude had diminished since Titan had just come out of Saturn's shadow. And then Kelly Baldwin is like, that's why they came into shallow. And I was like, what? How is that making sense to you? That's nonsense. I mean, there's literally nothing about that makes any sort of sense. I mean, the atmospheric density at altitude. So, I mean, there is some sort of influence if a planet or a moon, I suppose, goes behind its planet and then reemerges on the other side or whatever. It does sort of
change
behind
relative to the sun, right?
Yes, exactly. Behind relative to the sun. I mean, it does sort of change. I think it changes the temperature. It might also, I think I read something about it changing the actual extent of the atmosphere. Not too sure how, but it's probably sort of a similar mechanism to how tides work. It's sort of, the atmosphere probably gets stretched one way or another or something. But it is absolutely not going to affect the atmosphere that much that you can either that you do a calculation that's going to get you to land on the surface, and then it actually doesn't get you to land on the surface. It flings you millions of miles into space at 90 degrees into the main planet. It's complete nonsense. And I mean, the worst part about all of that is Kelly Baldwin going, that's why. Because I was like, what?
But she's smart. right? In the show, she's smart and she understands everything they're talking about, and we don't, right?
That's no. So I mean, this was techno babble without the techno. All right, it was just babble. This was just nonsense science words thrown together to make you be like, there was a reason for all of this.
That's a real shame for the show, actually.
Exactly. I feel like they fired the science advisors or something, because it's rare. Normally you get good stuff from the show, but this was nonsense. It felt like, as you say, they wanted the Cosmos mission to sort of just set up the stakes, and then it was just throwaway, right? They were just like, no, we're just going to throw this away. But they couldn't have done it any worse. That's like the worst science moment of the season, maybe of the show.
Must be of the show, yeah, surely.
Yeah.
But with that dodgy information that you mentioned, the mission is called off by Walt, who I just love.
Clearly, doesn't have the psychological profiling to be commander.
Yeah. But his physical appearance, if you compare that to Ed, is so funny to me. Of course, this guy is going to call up the mission, right?
Yes, yeah.
But he cites NASA's go fever, right? The idea, like, you just say go because you just want to get the launch done. You want to hit your timeline and everything, which pretty convincing argument, I must say. You know, he makes a good point.
I think so, yeah, because I mean, I do think NASA kind of did have that sort of, especially in this alternative history, right?
Yes.
Where I don't think they mentioned anything about, Challenger disaster and Columbia disaster and everything. I don't think those sort of happened in this universe, with the space shuttles where people died.
No, I think all the disasters are what the show has shown.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So because NASA now very much doesn't have that culture anymore. If anything, it's don't go, right? I mean, that's why.
Yeah, you look at the dates for Artemis, and it's like, damn.
I was flabbergasted when that thing took off. I was like, "There's no ways they've gone on the first try. No ways."
I feel like I'm going to be like 50 when the final Artemis mission is successful.
Exactly. Yeah,
Artemis 10 or whatever. But yeah, but he does make a good argument. But he does. Of course, Kelly pushes back, and in pure Baldwin fashion, she loads the Titan landing telemetry into the flight computer.
Yes. Yeah.
Unknown Classic. To everyone else. This is pure, Ed would be very proud of this, right?
Indeed, he would. It was a very Ed move. Yeah.
And they slowly realized that the burn was incorrect, and I'm sure that the computer displays were annoying you, because there's always planetary bodies, 2D and dotted lines.
It looked like the sort of thing that you see in like one of those books about space, that I had as kids. But it's like, I was like, what is this? Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Balance of Terror in the Star Trek, the original series.
Okay.
Because they have a map that shows the Federation, the Neutral Zone, and the Romulan Empire in a 2D plane.
Right? Yes, right. So, yes, yeah.
I always think about that with like space maps.
Yeah. No, I mean also, the fact that they had like, they'd like colored it in. They had like a nice little drawing of Saturn and everything. And I was like, what is this? Just put a dot, like it's a navigation computer. Don't give me a nice little pretty drawing of it.
Yeah. I mean, pilots don't like when pilots are flying aircraft, they don't have a little display with like wings and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just raw data, which they're trained to read. But because of the incorrect burn, the only option, much to Walt's chagrin, is to go through with the landing, right?
Yeah.
Which they do, and it's very tense, and the broadcast is played out over Happy Valley so that everyone can hear, right? Because it's a Martian mission. It was crewed on Mars, it was launched from Mars, it's run from Mars, so they deserve to hear, right?
Yeah.
And well, the landing is successful, but I think maybe you want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that they didn't land on Titan. I mean, that planet's not Titan. I mean, I sort of understand. I understand why they made it, because Titan would look very similar to Mars, right? I mean, Titan is orange. I mean, the actual ground itself sort of might be, you could get away with like brown or gray, but the atmosphere would be very orange and very hazy. It would be sort of like you can't see 20 meters in front of you because it's very hazy, and also, you know, they came in through the atmosphere, and they had like a shot of these like beautiful cumulonimbus clouds and everything. And the thing about Titan is all the moisture is methane, right?
Yeah.
Or most of the moisture is methane. And the methane clouds that we have seen are not nearly that structured. It is all just like this blurry haze. They don't have those like beautiful sort of cumulonimbus structures and stuff that you associate with clouds here. So I was a bit disappointed with the Titan that we saw, because I was like, yeah, no, that's not what it looks like. But they obviously wanted to look different to Mars, right? And it sort of, it gives you the idea that it's cold and that it's distant and that it's, you know, I did enjoy that it's dark, because that is what Titan would look like.
It reminds me a bit of Mordor. If I, you know,
yes, yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Hell, you know, it's hellish.
Yeah,
but yeah, the landing itself is very tense. You know, you have your typical stuff. You know, things going over set parameters and temperatures above the threshold and all that stuff, and then the pilot is saying, "No, I got this." Right? It's total. Basic space landing 101 filmmaking, right? And it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. I enjoyed it,
but successful landing is received very well on Mars, and everyone is high-fiving and cheering and hugging, and I feel like this is the ethos of the show playing out in the show, right? Because the show itself is like the unifying, it's the message of like the unifying force of exploration and pushing human limits and everything.
That's a good point.
The characters in the show are kind of feeling that, right? In this dire political situation that they have, you know, one moment is able to unify them. I mean, you know, look at Artemis 2. Look what that did for, you know, that week.
Exactly. Yes.
How that felt following along.
That's a very good point. Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that.
I did as well.
And we have some nice new spacesuits as they walk down to the surface.
Yes.
They go together. But I don't know if you noticed, Walt, who is second from the left, was definitely the last one.
I didn't notice that.
He was like half a second late. He was definitely the last one. He can't be claiming anything next episode or later on about being the first or joined first. He was definitely last. I noticed that. I'm keeping receipts for that. It's just
I mean, you know,
moment I thought was funny.
I mean, obviously we were kind of expecting there to be some sort of problem with him, right? Like from the beginning, because it was sort of set up that him and Kelly don't get along.
Yeah, right? But it's like he's more the bureaucrat, and she's obviously the Baldwin, right?
Yeah. But you do still need, like, I don't think he was the right person to command the mission. I think that he shouldn't have been chosen for that, right? I don't think Kelly should have been either, but like, because she's too sort of impulsive and he's too cautious, right?
Like, remember, she wasn't, and she forced herself on. Right, that was
true. Yeah. But I sort of felt like he was always going to somehow try and not take the risk, even if it's kind of worth it, right?
Yeah.
It sort of almost seems like it was his plan all along. Like, I'm going to find an excuse to turn this thing around and just go home again.
But yeah, that concludes episode 7. I have one final thought for this episode specifically.
Yes.
Which is, after 7 episodes, Avery has been in 2 of them, I believe. And had like 6 scenes.
Was she not? Oh, she wasn't in that one.
So she was introduced in 4.
Yeah.
And that played out with her interview process.
Right. Yeah.
And she wasn't in 5 because that was very much Mars and the riots playing out. And then we spoke about her in 6, obviously, and she wasn't in this one. So she's been in 2 episodes, and it's had like 6 scenes or something.
Yeah,
it's very crazy. Again, I'm going to get to my theory about this.
Okay.
Let's talk about the next one.
Yes.
Episode 8, titled Brave New World. Again, episode title, no guesses there. This is about being on a new world, right?
Yes, yeah.
So let's talk about Sojourner first this time, and what's going on there on Titan. Kelly is addressing the world with her plaque that belonged to Ed, but he never got to plant it on the moon. So very poetically, she's able to plant it on Titan. Right? It's a nice moment.
Yeah,
nice.
Because I think they sort of they also wanted to do that with Mars or something, right? But then they didn't get there first or something. Because, that's why she had it on Mars with her, because I think that was sort of
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think I remember something like that. Yeah. So now they finally got to use the plaque, put it first on a new world.
Exactly. Yeah. And now it's down to business, right? They're there to find life. That's the mission. They need to go to a certain seeker site that's like a probable location, but they're a little bit too far. Then the rover doesn't have enough reserves. So one person is going to have to stay. Well, okay. Sure, there are 2 characters who we kind of care about on this ship, so they're both going to go. We understand that.
Yeah, of course.
But Walt is losing it. He's just like going through the computer code and like, what? I thought I put it in. And it's like, dude, this is the most obvious Baldwin move of all time. This is
exactly.
Baldwin
and it's
101.
also finished now. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to figure it out.
Exactly.
This is Baldwin 101. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, considering their relationship, I would have thought that that's the first thing he would expect. Like, it must be, what did you do? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, Kelly's like, okay, I have to tell you something. Walt, just listen to me. Walt. And he's like, you should take command. Whoa, okay. Damn.
Yeah, and then she shuts up. She's like, oh, well, that's great. I'll do that.
Yeah. At which point, the next time we see them, she then orders Walt to come along on the rover because he is the best biologist or whatever for the job, right? Which I mean, again, that's the whole point there. So that makes sense. So yeah, that's that for Sojourner, really, for this episode.
Pretty much, yeah.
It feels like episode 9 is definitely going to be or episode 10 is going to be finding microbes, that kind of thing.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, do you think they actually going to do that? Do you think they will be finding life?
I mean, good question. I think just because of the show's ideals, you know what, like, it's always arguing why it's worth it to do this stuff.
Right.
So I think it will follow through on that and show why it's worth it to find.
Not send them all the way to Titan for nothing.
Yeah, and it's not to say like you can't invoke the idea of life and then not follow through, but I think it's just the show's philosophy of that positivity, that we would see what would happen in this world.
Right. Yeah. No, I sort of tend to agree. I think they might have a few misses or whatever. Like, I feel like they might go to the site, not find it, and then find it actually where they landed in the first place or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree. And yeah, I think it's definitely going to be like a driving force of season 6.
I think so as well, yeah.
You know, who gets to control, who gets the who gets the samples, and all that, how it affects people on Earth and on Mars. I think that's going to play out. We're going to see the benefits of all of that. But back on Mars, we can talk about Miles, who is pulled aside for a secret meeting with Morozova, who tells him, listen, if you can hold out a little longer, we can get a new Soviet government in who would be more amenable to your demands, right?
Yeah. And I mean, do you believe that? Do you believe her? I'm not sure what to trust with her.
Well,
Like, I'm not sure if everyone is actually on board or if she's even playing the governor, right?
Yeah,
like
I don't know
she
that
might
I
be
was
pulling all
thinking
the
about
strings.
that even.
Okay.
You know, the politicking and everything, but she's on Mars, so
right, yeah.
She also needs to play her own interests. Do you know what I mean?
True. Yeah, true.
And
this, yeah, okay, that's a good argument, because then she would be in prime position to be in a position of power, if that is the case. You know, if she manages to set all of this up.
Oh, she's totally the next governor. That's 100.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, absolutely.
There you go.
No, she is.
Yeah.
That I didn't even realize that I'd worked that out. Yeah.
But you did work.
Yeah,
because I thought that's what you were saying. But
yeah,
that's it. She's
I reckon
playing her political cards to get there.
Yeah,
and she needs the help of Miles as well, so she's giving him.
So
good
then I actually, because I wasn't 100% sure if the governor was, you know, because he's like, I'll go with you on this mission and whatever that we're still going to get to.
Yeah.
But like I was wondering, I'm like, who's telling the truth? Are they all telling the truth? Are they all lying? Is the governor telling the truth, but she isn't? But okay, I reckon they're all actually telling the truth, and yeah, she's playing her cards now.
Yeah, and she also reveals that there's a ship of elite Marines who are coming to Goldilocks to Kuznetsov Station, I believe it's called.
Yes,
Kuznetsov or whatever, to take control over it, because it's the iridium that's behind all of this, right? That's what Earth needs, and that's what Mars is holding hostage. And Miles is like, no way, we would have seen it. So he goes to a leader and he's like, can you just check, by the way, you know, if there's a ship coming? And like, lo and behold, there is one coming. So this is now the crisis that they're talking about in their little like Game of Thrones council meeting that they have.
Yes.
And Lee says, you know, in the war, what we would do is destroy the runway.
Yeah.
Oh, so destroy the landing pad on the station. Okay. Well, we don't have explosives, so okay, we're gonna concoct methane and all this good stuff.
And I mean, suddenly Miles is a chemist. Hey, I mean, how the hell? I mean, isn't he's like a driller or something? I mean, suddenly he knows how to make a fertilizer bomb. I mean, I didn't understand how he. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I was like,
I can't remember what he did before he got to Mars. But he was just like a day laborer on Mars, right?
Exactly. He's just like a working man, right? He's like, so I don't know how he suddenly knew about hydrazine and fertilizer. And I was like, what, dude? Because he was like, oh, we could do this. And I was like, whoa, all right. Someone's been looking at his textbooks again. But yeah, somehow he figures out how to make a bomb.
Yeah. And that is the plot, right? And
yeah,
Boyd and the governor will pilot the mission.
Yeah.
There hasn't been much Boyd action in these last few episodes.
No, there hasn't.
I did think while watching this batch that I enjoy how kind of plain she is, I guess. Maybe, you know, in a nice way of saying it. She's very ordinary, very low key. She also seems very tired. I can imagine her like grabbing a cigarette behind a bar on a Saturday night or something. You know what I mean?
Yes, and for sure.
I quite like that about her. She feels like a very lived-in character.
Yes, that's a good word. Yeah. But I mean, then she, you know, we'll still get to it a little bit. But she's clearly sort of taken on a leadership role in the new corps, the new security corps.
Yeah, this is the Happy Valley Corps. It's like the good guys, peacekeepers.
Yeah. So, you know, I think presumably all of this will be wrapped up at some stage, and peacetime will resume, and she's probably then going to be head of security.
Yeah, she's
you know, the other guy, whatever his name is going to be out surely.
The sheriff.
The sheriff, yeah.
Sheriff Palmer.
So I reckon she's going to be the new sheriff, right?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. But with Happy Valley Corps, we could talk a little bit about Alex and Lily, because Alex has signed up as a medic, and he's there getting basic weapons training, and he's like, what? Why? He's like, well, everyone needs to have basic proficiency with a weapon in the Corps.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty obvious, right? I was like...
Yeah, terrible question.
Yeah, I was like, you should have known this already, dude, before you signed up.
Terrible question, yeah. And they're also Alex and Lily are mourning their friend's death, the not film student who didn't get to go.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but now I'm just saying that this is her unfinished thesis film.
Oh,
so
right.
She must have got no, because the Marine went and he's done his full training, so she must have done some film school.
Yeah, so maybe she was doing. Yeah, that's confusing actually.
Well, yeah, but they need anyway. So they're mourning it and like, okay, we need to finish her thesis film.
I mean, what did you think of her film so far?
It seems suitably like thinking too much of yourself as a bachelor film student would, right?
So I was about to say it seems like something you make when you're a bachelor film student, exactly. Right? It's like very dramatic. And, yes, yeah.
So they're interviewing Marzies for the film, right? So they got the guy with his guitar singing a crappy song, and this is kind of answering our thing now of the kids taking over. Well, no.
They just exactly. They just
don't really have lots to do. They've kind of swapped, I think, with Miles.
Yes,
in the kind of story importance rankings, they've swapped with Miles. I feel like, and that's them for the episode. So let's talk about Avery, who is inbound to Mars.
Yeah, on a ship design that makes no sense, just by the way, as well.
Well, it has spinning things, so that
it has spinning things with levels at 2 different levels that have the same gravitational force.
Exactly, they would have different.
That's not how it works.
I did think that. See, I'm so
nice, good, well picked up. Yeah. But anyway, apparently, when you just have spinning things, it's just gravity. Like
but that's a shorthand now in sci-fi design. Spinning things is a habitat,
but like. You can't have 2 different levels on the spinning thing.
Of course, yeah.
You have to have one level. You can't have her running on a treadmill and then standing somewhere else and it's all just the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. Not a big deal.
But their mission, as we know, is to retake Goldilocks, the landing platform at the mining station, and her friend, the Marzi, is sad because he lost a friend in the dome attack. And then, in a stunning development, Connor's story from Heated Rivalry was the Russian guy who says, he's like in the locker room and he says, "Let's hope you don't forget which side you're on."
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Suddenly. Yeah.
It's like, okay, so obviously this was filmed before he got the role on Heated Rivalry, but like this guy is like one of the breakout stars of the year. Like Heated Rivalry.
Oh, okay.
Heated Rivalry. Sorry, I'm getting excited thinking about it. It was my favorite show of the year so far.
Okay.
It's about rival ice hockey players who are.
I have heard of it.
Yeah,
yes,
they're secretly boinking on the side.
I've heard all about it. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Okay. No, I have. I've been. It's been suggested to me already. I've forgotten the title, but yes, I have heard of it.
And I thought it was just so funny to see him again playing a Russian again. By the way, he's he's just American, but like he's got 2 Russian roles now, and I was like,
nice.
Yeah, I had to point that out. I thought it was so funny to see him. Very obviously before Heated Rivalry, right?
Right.
Because he's he's a get now for a show.
Right.
But yeah. So anyway, Avery is having second thoughts about the mission because she thinks that she's just too fucked up, right? Yeah. And then her sergeant is like, "Well, listen, we all come from tough backgrounds, so that's just the hand you're dealt, and you just have to deal with it, right? We all do."
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. So let's get to the hopper mission itself. We're going to take a hopper, we're going to load it up with dodgy chemicals, fly it up to the station, drop it off, leave on the emergency hopper, blow up the station. Right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
I like that they have a makeshift, riskometer, I guess. If the ship shakes too much, then the chemicals will be, the volatility will cause it to explode.
Riskometer, I love that. Yeah.
I've written down sometimes. I've written in my notes. Sometimes you just got to play the hits, and the hit this time being a needle in a red zone is just good stuff.
Absolutely, you're like, oh my god,
yeah. It's really effective. Doesn't get old.
Absolutely,
I really enjoyed that.
Much better than a digital bar or something as well.
Yeah.
If you've got a nice analog needle,
yes,
it's good stuff.
Analog, like a 1950s, like fighter jet or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything goes to plan, but they didn't account for people being there. The Marines are there.
Yeah.
And, well, they can't do anything about it. The bomb does go off and takes out Avery's sergeant. And she lets out a very harrowing silent scream. In space, no one can hear you scream, as we know from Alien.
There we go.
And there it is. I thought it was a very effective moment, and I particularly enjoy some zero gravity blood splatter.
Yes, sorry, it was good.
Sorry, it's spatter, not splatter. For all the Dexter fans out there.
Okay.
But yeah, I did enjoy that. It was a good representation of it.
No, and this is sort of something that happens a lot in, I suppose, sort of military films and stuff as well. As you have these guys training for war and everything, but it's obviously the first time then when you lose a friend, you're like, oh Jesus, okay, this is real actually, right?
Yeah.
And it always hits, right? It's always an effective like, oh my God, I know people die in war, but I never imagined my friends dying, right? All quiet on the Western Front,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's my friends dying now.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was quite a nice scene. I enjoyed it as well.
And considering her worries that she had going into this, and who she is, the lineage that she comes from. This is like the worst case scenario for her,
Yeah.
And the scream is not just like, oh, I've lost a friend. It's maybe like, it's the kind of like, oh, my fears have been realized. What's going to happen next to me? I am going to become my father in that way.
Yes. Yeah. No, for sure.
And that's the cliffhanger ending of episode 8.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any comments on that one.
I mean, just something that I forgot to mention, which I absolutely lost it. If you're watching on YouTube, I mean, you'll see my background here with the little red light on the moon. I'm not sure if you picked it up, but when Avery was running on the treadmill in the centrifuge and she's trying to break the goal or whatever, that little flashing red light, and it flashes and it flashes, and then suddenly it takes over the whole screen. It's it's close up of the flashing red light. And that's it's got to be a direct reference to Gordo Stevens seeing that red light on the moon, because that's right. I think there was something. I think Danny saw something like that at some stage as well, where there's the flashing red light is that sort of that crazy streak that obviously runs through the Stevens family, right? It's like it's reminding us. It's reminding us that it's there, and that flashing red light. It's like one of my favorite moments from the I think it was the first season with that red light. Absolutely loved it, because I was like,
you've nailed it. Yeah,
she's getting the warning, the little red lights. Is it going to happen or not? And then at the end of the mission, end of the episode, as you say, suddenly it's like, is this it? She's just, people have died, there's an explosion. Is she going to be like her father before her?
Yeah.
So I loved all of that,
which is an exciting story arc to come. I feel like it finally feels like something worthwhile is happening with her.
Exactly. So she's now, I think she's going to be in the rest of the season, right? Because she's there on Mars.
Sure. Yeah.
So she's now going to be involved, because she also presumably, she's just floating in space. So who's going to rescue her? Someone obviously has to come and rescue her. It might be Boyd, because
there are two other Marines, I think, on the station.
Because they split up, that's remember? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. Okay, maybe it's them. Because I was actually thinking, because Boyd opened the radio comms at some stage. I thought that they were going to like be a lifeboat and try and take these soldiers away or something. Yeah. But then that obviously didn't happen. So.
Yeah, they didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, then just my worst science moment for this episode, because there isn't a good one. Just the worst one. I've sort of spoken about it a little bit before, but this was really pushing it. Is the obviously someone has told them that on Mars the atmosphere is thinner, the gravity is less. You don't need so powerful a rocket to get off the planet. But this was pushing it. I mean, previously they had Sojourner with the hovering and stuff. now they had a hopper, which is supposed to just sort of do like, hopping. Mm-hmm. They had a hopper not only escape the planet.
Well, and sorry, we do know the hoppers are like a back and forth with Phoenix Station.
Oh, are they supposed to be?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So I then have a problem with that in general, because I don't think that is a powerful enough rocket to get you all the way up to not only out of Mars's atmosphere, but into an orbit, which has to be, it wouldn't be as far as the moon, for example, but it would be further than something like the International Space Station. All right. So, if you imagine putting the space station twice the distance it is from Earth, you would still need a massive rocket to get there. You couldn't get there with a little hopper. But then they go even worse, and they turn the engines off halfway through the launch, and it falls a bit, and then they turn them on, and then everything's fine. Yeah, I didn't. That was a little bit too much for me. I was like, no, if the engines are off, you abort. You can't carry on. Like, that's the end of your launch. You got to try again. But yeah. No, definitely sense, episode 7 was the doozy with science. Yeah, that was just there wasn't a good science moment, but there was that little issue I had.
I am starting to, while watching the show, I do pick up on things like, okay, that's going to be a topic that Titan's going to bring up.
Right. No, I'm glad.
Yeah. Very good. So, some final thoughts then. I think it's time for some final thoughts, a little check-in at this point in the season, where we are, how we're feeling. I very much appreciated going back to some vintage For All Mankind space missions.
Yes.
You unpacked all the problems with that, but it was still nice to kind of be in that mode.
I still loved them, right? Even though I was like, that this is not right, I was still like, yeah, we're back in space exploring, cool.
And right? Even I realized, like, seeing characters in 0G has been a while that we've seen that. So that was a welcome return as well.
It was, yeah, and they did it quite well as well. I really enjoyed when the Marines came up onto the hopper and found the bombs, right? They pushed themselves up the stairwell or whatever, and then like locked their magnetic boots on or whatever. That was done really well. It was very convincing.
Always enjoy some magnetic boots.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah.
I also wanted to point out, I have a little bugbear with the show, because I feel like a lot of the time the run times of the episodes are too long. I mean, they're like an hour, 6 minutes, something.
They are sometimes a bit long, yeah.
I very much appreciated this batch. It was 48 minutes, 51 minutes, 52 minutes. That's right where we need to be.
Yeah, exactly. They did feel shorter. I didn't actually check, but they felt... Because normally you get sort of tired, right? In the last 5 or 10 minutes. You're like, okay, is it nearly over? But especially this last one, when it ended with her scream, I was like, oh, they're ending it there. You know, it was a sort of like, wow.
We had some concerns about Miles and where he was going, but I feel like those have been answered, and I very much appreciate where he is. I feel like a worthy figurehead for the show alongside Kelly, I would say, is the other one.
Yes, exactly. You've sort of got the two sort of scenes happening, so
yeah. The dome attack, the plotting for that was whack. It was terrible.
Yes.
But I want my Avery theory, right, that I've been thinking about.
Yes, I want to hear about this, yeah.
So I don't think we're going to get an answer to this, but I feel like they wrote up to the point of the bomb on Goldilocks on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went back and were like, wait, we need someone on the Marines who is a character. And then they go back and invent and shove in a new character.
Right.
That's
You
what
mean
it feels like to me.
They go back all the way to episode 4, whatever, and say we need to start.
Yeah. They're like, okay, wait,
already.
we need to insert this character. Where can we do that? Okay, we got a little space in episode 4. We'll do some scenes. Oh, she can be a Stevens. We can do some family stuff there. Show with the Marines, and then we get here. I feel like it's been reverse engineered.
No,
that's a theory. We'll never get an answer to it, but it's what it feels like. And I suppose if it feels that way, it's not very good, I suppose.
Yeah. But I mean, I suppose it also depends on what they do with her now, right? Like
now that she's here, I'm happy with that.
Exactly. Fine. I'm happy with it. And if they now tell a good story with her, then you can sort of forgive it.
Yeah, because
retrospectively.
The pieces are there. Who she is, her fears, her anxieties. Yeah. What's now just happened. That's very exciting, I feel like.
Yes. Yeah. But I reckon you might be spot on there, because that's sort of it's felt disjointed somehow, and that would be
disjointed.
That would make sense. Yeah.
So any final thoughts from your side?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I hope we are going to get the Titan action has been still limited, right? We've only got sort of like snippets of it, so I'm hoping we're going to get like large chunks in these last.
There's going to be rover. There's something bad is going to happen on the rover. They're going to get there, get some results, and the results will have huge implications.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. It's sort of, we're probably going to get to the height of tensions on Mars as they discover life, and then suddenly everyone's priorities change.
Yeah, but Mars is going to be holding out until they can negotiate with a new Soviet government. They have blown up the platform on Goldilocks. So that changes the hand that they have with the M6 nations.
Yes.
So it does feel like we are coming to a conclusion there.
It probably, yes. I would say so.
like you accidentally revealed.
Yes, yeah.
Morozova is going to be the governor. Miles is going to have an important position. Boyd is going to be the core chief.
Right. So we're sort of setting up the next generation.
Yeah, exactly. The pieces for the next season are going to be in that place, and life will have implications in season 6 as well.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. So let's lock this all in. It's all going to be exactly how we predicted it. Nothing will surprise us at all. Which we're going to find out about and unpack in 2 weeks when we return for All Mankind discussion with episodes 9 and 10. But in the meantime, for our regular Monday episode next week, we'll be discussing, of course, the new Star Wars theatrical release, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which we have discussed a little bit about how we felt about it in our Disney Star Wars episode. So check that out if you haven't already. I'm curious how that film's going to turn out. It's theatrical Star Wars. We're legally obligated to go see it, so that's our next one. But we also have a special bonus pod coming this week on Thursday, the 21st of May. I don't know if you want to reveal anything about that.
I suppose I'll just give a brief introduction. We're going to be looking at some Isaac Asimov short stories. I think if you have ever read anything by Isaac Asimov, you will be familiar with The Last Question. I think it's maybe a 20-minute, 30-minute read.
Definitely.
You can definitely read it before the episode. And then we'll probably also be looking at sort of an unofficial sequel, not quite a sequel, but a sort of follow-on, which is The Last Question. The Last Answer. So we're going to be looking at The Last Question and The Last Answer. Very famous, I would say the most famous short stories from Isaac Asimov. I think they were quite late in his life, and they sort of his final message. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, maybe the work he was proudest of, he said?
Might be, yes.
That rings a bell?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that rings a bell, yes. But we'll talk more about it, but I think the 21st of May is a significant date in one of the stories. So we're going to be releasing our episode on that day, and we'll get into it.
Yeah, very exciting. So yeah, see you then for both of those coming soon. As always, wherever you get your podcasts, like, subscribe, comment, get involved. It helps us grow, of course. We do appreciate it. And until next time, live long and prosper.